live from Las Vegas.
This isn't Las Vegas. It's the MSC Meraviglia, but it feels like Las Vegas.
It sure does.
All right. Up next, our totally honest review. Stay tuned. All right, welcome back to Two Bears Trekking. So today is going to be our review of the MSC Meraviglia.
An honest one. So grab your seasickness pills because you just might need them for this one.
So this was part of our 120-day challenge. This was the cruise that resulted. You can check out that whole series if you're interested.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we had to very frequently remind ourselves, as did other people on ship, that this was a cheap cruise.
Yes.
Not to foretell any of our review here.
No.
All right, so where do we start?
Well, we are going to review it in 5 different categories: ship, cabin, food, entertainment, and service staff.
Yes.
So,
and there are certain things that we don't consider.
Yes.
Like the composition of the passengers on the ship. We do consider the number of passengers.
Yes, we
and
will.
We'll tell you about that in a second.
Mm-hmm.
We don't necessarily consider ports.
Right. Because they vary, or they're, whatever.
Right, or our status, things that the average passenger doesn't have access to.
Correct. But we will give you caveats at the end on things that impacted us, but we didn't work it into the score.
Yep, that fall outside the rating.
There you go. So, let's get going.
All right.
Start with the ship.
Okay, so this ship is in the Meraviglia class. It was completed in 2017.
Mm-hmm.
It holds 4,600 people at double occupancy. We had 4,000 people on our sailing.
Okay, just so you're clear.
So not even full at double occupancy.
No.
And it can hold over 6,000.
And it was like Las Vegas. Can I just say that honestly? When I stepped on board this ship, I went, "Welcome to Las Vegas."
Viva Las Vegas.
Woohoo!
So, and if you enjoy Las Vegas and the hotels and the entertainment and the buffets and all that stuff,
right?
You might really enjoy the ship. We don't mind Vegas, but
right.
We go to Vegas to experience Vegas,
not on the ocean.
The ocean,
correct.
So the decoration is a little bit like a Las Vegas Strip hotel.
Yes.
An inexpensive one.
Right.
That's trying hard.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to start. And the reason I say that is because the quality of the finished materials, where ships might have wood or marble or other higher-end materials, here it's plastic.
Yes, it is. We even pounded on some things, thinking maybe this is, marble,
metal, concrete,
and nope, plastic.
Yeah.
Oh, and what about that staircase? That Swarovski
crystal staircases that people love.
I want to believe it is Swarovski crystal or whatever crystal it is, but really I don't know.
It is the only piece of art really on the ship. They don't put a lot of money or effort into art.
No.
Now, the dome, where they have all the dome shows, and I think we saw every single one.
Just about, yeah. It is in the, what is it called? The
Galleria
Meraviglia. Yeah. The mall. Let's just be honest about it.
Well, it is filled with shops, specialty restaurants,
yes,
and only a couple of venues. The rest is they're trying to get money out of you.
Yes, they are.
So,
Promenade, aka Promenade. Okay.
It's a very narrow space.
Yes.
Looking at the lifeboats.
Yes.
No chairs.
No chairs.
So not a real promenade. I never saw passengers out there. We ventured out there like once or twice.
It was uncomfortable to be on.
Yeah, somebody asked us about it. And I'm like, I guess you can go out there. It's here, deck 7.
Yeah.
Also very odd, the specialty restaurants that they charge $99 on board per person for a meal, you're staring out the windows at lifeboats.
Yes.
Like literally right in your face.
Yes, I don't understand that.
So it's a bit odd. For the amount of people, there are lots of venues, but they're all small.
Yes, they are small.
So outside of the theater that can, I think, hold about 950, maybe up to 1,000. And with 3 show rotations, you still don't get through everybody on a full ship.
No.
There's not a large space. The next largest, that's not the Carousel Lounge, might be like the Sky Lounge or the one in the Galleria.
Right. The Sky Lounge is still small for what it's supposed to be. So
there's a lot of wasted space. Large, long corridors, like between restaurants, up at the buffet. There was a lot of space on the ship that could have been utilized, changing the design. You said a lot of seats are faced inward. Like
yes.
There's not a lot of views to the ocean.
No, well, it's considered a cold weather ship. So they don't really have necessarily space outside. They do, the pool, etc. But for the most part, not a lot. And it's all, I mean, you're looking into the ship. Everything is focused inward to the ship.
Right. It's just odd. And they have the Carousel Theater, which has 2 shows rotating.
Right. The circular theater, it's nice.
Nearly every night. Yeah. And it would be great if they could use that for other entertainment options as well. So what happened was on our 4,000 passenger sailing, again, not at max.
Nope.
It felt extremely crowded.
Yes,
the buffet, the layout of the buffet. Although to one place I thought there was enough seating, you just had to
hunt for it a little bit. Kind of go to the outer edges.
Exactly. Small back deck, which is unusual for a ship
small
of the size at the Marketplace buffet. It was just overcrowded, and that's not max capacity.
No,
I don't even want to think about what it is when they have 6,000.
No. Now some of
1,000 kids on the ship.
Now some of you might have, you're just kind of going, no, I love this ship, and it didn't feel crowded. Well, you might have been on a cruise before or after, because we know that.
Right, with 2,300, 2,400 people.
Okay, well, it's not going to feel crowded.
That's half occupancy. So the pool decks, the bamboo pool, which was the covered pool, just a lack of seating. They would pile up loungers.
Yeah, I don't understand that. I know there's wind and everything, but really, they would take the loungers away so people couldn't be out there. It's like, what?
So you're getting the idea. Their goal is to catch your eye and appeal to your emotions. Well, for a lot of people, they did that. But we are objective in our reviews.
Yes,
and we are peeling back the layers, and we are looking at quality of workmanship, quality of materials, passenger space ratios, based on full double occupancy, and then max occupancy.
Correct.
And does this ship work? Are there enough venues? Are they large enough? Is there enough public space? And does the ship work? And there are a lot of places it's a maze, especially in the cabin areas.
Let's
go ahead and give them our rating for the ship. Some people might be shocked, and you might be hating on us, but we've explained ourselves.
Yes,
so
we have.
We're willing to have a discussion.
Yes, we are. So, on a scale from 1 to 5 stars, we're giving it a solid 2. 2.
And I had to work him up from 1 star. So
yes,
it was worse.
Yes, it was worse.
All right, let's jump over. A related category is the cabin.
Yes.
The newest ships tend to have a little bit larger cabins. We had an inside Deck 9 Bella class. I think it was about 155 square feet. I think they say 17 square meters, something like that. When you walked in, it was nice. It was a large enough area, but that's because there's no extra furniture in this room.
No, except for like a stool wood thingish,
like that goes under the desk,
right?
Which has one drawer that has an attached hairdryer in it, so you can't really put a lot in there anyway.
Right.
No shelves around the desk except for where the glasses and the ice bucket fit in to this plastic lucite thing, so you can't really put other stuff there. Although you managed to.
Now there's nightstands, and there's some place you can throw stuff there.
Mirror to make the room look bigger.
Yes. Bathroom.
They're not nice. They're open nightstands, but then the cabin steward shoves the little, pretty
Pla-
looking thing under there and
Yeah.
all sorts of other things. So
I found a different place to store that.
yeah. So the closet, small.
Ooh, closet was.
Especially this was 11-night sailing.
This is
Some
tight.
people had 5 suitcases in their inside cabin, and I'm like, okay, we had 2 small ones, and you can see it was horrible.
We filled that, and
there are 2 small drawers.
yes,
We had stuff behind the safe on the side, the whole top shelf. Just inadequate storage.
Correct.
Big TV, but we never used it.
Never used it. So, what did you think of the closet/bathroom?
Oh my goodness! Well, I was happy with the size of the shower.
The shower was pretty good size for that bathroom.
The rest of the bathroom, you could really only comfortably fit one person, especially the way the shower door opened.
Yes, correct.
It's not a sliding door; it's an opening door.
Yes.
So again, poor planning on their part.
Right.
Not a lot of storage in the bathroom, but better than in the actual cabin.
Correct. So do we give it a score on this one?
Well, I do like the little buttons instead of like magnets or hangers for do not disturb and make up room.
Yes, that's nice. The light switches are nice.
I don't like that you have to put your key card in.
That's true.
It's
That's true.
But, so all those pluses, minuses: size, a little bit of tightness, no chair, no additional small table.
Nope.
You end up sitting on the bed in this cabin. That's not true for balconies, but we are reviewing the inside cabin and we're looking at this overall.
Yes.
It is a
solid
3 stars.
Yes. Okay, let's jump over to food, and we're going to divide this among 2 things: the buffet and the restaurant.
Yes, so those are really the only free or complimentary food options on this ship, with the exception of there's some small pastries in the Sky Lounge, which we never dealt with because they didn't have the best ones there.
Correct.
Unlike other ships we've been on.
Yes.
And, okay, so the buffet serves basically all day from morning, noon, night. I will say the coffee, the regular no-pay coffee, I was a little bit concerned because I'm used to my espresso. It was actually decent and drinkable.
Yes, we had that every morning. We had to go up to the buffet because there wasn't any real free coffee anywhere else.
Right. So the breakfast part of the buffet was a little bit better. The eggs were done well. All the breakfast meats were cooked well.
Yes.
They did have an omelet station. I saw it one day, and that's the day I got us omelets.
Right.
But I didn't see it other days, and it was at the back. So with the layout, and it's not a mirrored layout. They have some things on one side, some not on the other. Sometimes only one side's open. Sometimes the front's always open. The back isn't open. So you never know what you're going to get. It's very inconsistent, like a lot of things on MSC.
Yes.
All right. So we found the first couple of days, and I don't know what happened. They used all their good food or the best ingredients, or they ran out. They ran to the
They
Walmart
threw the chef
grocery or
overboard and brought in a new one. I don't know what they did.
But it just went downhill after the first couple of days.
Yes, it did.
So, but I will say the salad fixings, the nice meats, Italian meats, cold cuts, cheeses. They make their fresh mozzarella.
That was amazing, the mozzarella. Yeah, because there's a working station that they have on the ship that they make it.
So that was excellent.
Yes.
I found the pizza to be overrated. And one night for entertainment, when there was a juggler, we decided to sit there and watch them make pizzas because it was just horrendous, especially the night crew.
Yes.
Parts were half cooked. They weren't rotating them front to back or spinning them. And so they were undercooked. They were overcooked. They were burnt. The ingredients were dry.
Yeah, or they put less toppings on.
Less toppings.
It was just...
It wasn't consistent, and it was a running joke after a while. We got pizza every single day because we wanted to see what we were going to get from day to day. And it was only really good the first couple of days. And then I just don't get it. It was just not good. They didn't do a good job.
No.
The buffet manager was not doing his job.
No.
Other main entrees on the buffet, pasta, ick. A lot of the food was dried out.
Yes.
The seafood, and you'll find this in the dining room as well, not that great.
Nope.
The fish dried, not great flavor, so they don't do fish well.
No.
And I tried it a few times, and it was always a miss. I have to say this, I strayed from my rule of picking and choosing for you guys. Yeah. Because I know MSC gets a lot of food complaints. And So I thought it only fair to throw us both under the bus
Mhm.
a few times
Yes.
and order things we normally wouldn't to see if it really was bad.
And we'll explain my bus throwing when we get to the dining room. Yeah.
And it was that bad. It really was. I had the meatloaf the other night, so I thought I'd try it on the buffet. It's a little dry, but it tastes more like dog canned food. Or canned dog food. One of those two. Anytime we strayed, I think once, I was like, oh, okay, so that wasn't as bad as I thought.
But you like ethnic food.
I do like ethnic food, and very small selection. So the variety wasn't the best. But after the first couple of days, when they put the good stuff out, like the boneless chicken in the sauce, and oh, it was so delicious, and the basmati rice, then they started veering off and using cheaper ingredients. And this ethnic dish had it was drumsticks pulled apart, and the bones, the cartilage, everything was just in the sauce.
And then covered with sauce, and no difference. You're chewing along, eating meat, and all of a sudden what's this? It's a bone.
What is meat? What is bone? What is cartilage? It was disgusting.
Yes, it was.
I tried it 2 days in a row. And then I think eventually they gave up, because then they were just doing like saucy things like dal and stuff. It was a nightmare, an absolute nightmare. I will say the desserts were the highlight on the buffet.
Yes, they were.
No hot desserts.
No.
But we did get the cream puffs, the little eclairs, even some of the cakes were really good.
And we're not normally cake people, but they turned out good.
Exactly. Exactly. Am I missing any highlights or oh, we did have the shepherd's pie one day.
Oh, yes, we did.
Probably the only good main dish entree on the buffet.
So should we jump down to the dining room?
Let's do it.
There we go. Dining room.
So we did go to the dining room for lunch 2
days. We did.
Same menu. And not
uneventful.
Great. The desserts were good again.
Desserts, yes.
Yeah.
But for the most part,
yeah. And I think a lot of people would say they would skip the main dining room for lunch.
Yes.
Not impressed.
Dinner. Now, we're not going to talk about service, because we're going to talk about that towards the end. So we're going to talk about food.
So dinner, again, was hit or miss. And I feel like, again, seafood fish didn't do well.
Nope.
Italian, unless it was a dish Italian like eggplant parmesan or lasagna, horrible. Anything with just like pasta and sauce and stuff. The carbonara I had was like probably one of the worst I've ever had anywhere.
Okay. The meats, for the most part, steaks, etc., were fairly good. I really enjoyed them.
The leg of lamb, circular, round, cut, thin slice.
It wasn't a leg. It was a round slice of leg lamb.
Usually you chunk it, or you do something more interesting off the leg of lamb, but it wasn't horrible, but it was uneventful.
What about your soup bowl dish thing?
My soup bowl with the short ribs and the potatoes and the sauce, and it was just weird, served in a bowl with the fat, and you had to like dig through the fat.
And you had to cut the meat because it was too big, and it was in a soup bowl, so it would rock all over the place.
Many times I said to the waiter or the head waiter, the flavor was very good. I'm not sure what was going on with the presentation. It was a little weird.
Well, the flavor wasn't good in my throw me under the bus thing. I had a mac and cheese Texas barbecue pork. Okay, now I like mac and cheese. It's like but I saw the cheeses that they had, up on the buffet, and I thought they're going to do something wonderful. Okay, it came out, and it was orange.
Yeah, it was Kraft, but that no-name Kraft.
No-name Kraft. And I dared myself. Bad. I tasted it.
So, yes, they don't do salads well in the dining room. Just trust me.
No.
Soups, not well more than, okay, it's edible. The onion soup wasn't bad.
You know what was good, though? The ice
cream. It was like real ice cream.
Hard ice cream. It was delish.
Yeah. Double doses every night.
Yes. That was a highlight of our day. We look forward to the ice cream.
And the desserts. The desserts, again, in the dining room are fairly reliable.
Right. So on a scale of 1 to 5 stars, we're giving this a solid 3
stars, and that is being generous.
Okay, now you're thinking, how bad could it get? Well,
You're gonna have to do some serious picking and choosing.
yes.
Yeah.
Mhm. So let's move on. Let's pick things up a bit here and go to entertainment.
Ooh, yeah.
That's entertainment.
Viva
Las Vegas. Yes, it was.
Let's start out with the activities. Knock that out.
Yes.
I thought there was a large selection. They pulled off the activities fairly well. Bigger selection than most cruise lines.
Right.
Which was nice, keeping people busy.
Mm-hmm.
The musical entertainment. I think there were a lot. There was a large variety.
Right.
There were we decided like 7 different acts.
Mm-hmm.
We enjoyed the jazz trio, the saxophonist. But then you had loud groups, or you had karaoke Candace.
Yeah. Yes.
Or
Or
and they all used background tracks.
yes.
So you couldn't hear them, and I think the background track was to, supplement their meager playing and drown out their horrible voice.
Yes.
So and then you had, duets with who one was eek and the other was like, okay, she's not bad.
Yeah.
The Latin group was also pretty decent, but
Right.
too loud.
Mm-hmm. Now they did have people that they brought onto the ship.
Yes, as always, acts.
Right.
On ours, because they had 4 production shows, and then they supplement with this magic thing that they have. It's in-house. It's Wonderville.
Wonder what in the world is that?
Yeah, we're not big magic. You got to impress us for magic. This was like an off-strip in Vegas magic act.
Form into Chauvel's signature. And as impossible as it sounds, on 3, 2, 1, you will see your signature has changed.
Sorry.
It was. We were stuck in a middle seat, or we would have gotten to the left.
Oh my goodness. Well, the second one we didn't even go to.
That's correct.
The crew talent show was better.
That was fun. Yeah, the crew were better than the magicians.
So on our trip, because it was 11 nights, we had 2 nights. We had a comedian who we'd seen the previous month on a different cruise line, different ship.
You know what? He was just as funny.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Even though we knew a lot of his material, so it was
The
really
crowd was
good.
laughing.
Yeah,
It was a good time.
Enjoyed those 2 shows.
Mm-hmm.
Then Juggler, which we didn't go to,
Nope.
and we entertained ourselves with the Icon of the Seas and then the pizza
Yeah,
debacle.
exactly.
And then we had Nikki
Bennett.
Some people liked her. There was a lack of enthusiasm,
Mm-hmm.
and you could tell.
She felt very Las Vegas.
She was Las Vegas lounge singer, maybe an opening act at best. Again, sorry, and we do evaluate these on a technical basis. You have a theater.
I have a
and singing
theater.
background.
I have sang in choirs, so I know what a tune is and I know what a tone is. And yes,
That was not it.
no,
I don't have a great tune, so I know a good one when I hear it.
exactly. So going into the main production.
The productions were 5-star.
Oh, a period. We're going
Let's
just
just say
period.
that.
Okay, straight up. The singing. Oh my word. Yes.
Il me parlait tout bas, je vois la vie en moi.
If you want to see great entertainment, show-wise, This is phenomenal.
These are new shows for the
Mhm.
Meraviglia. They've only been on about 3 months. This
Mhm.
cast is the first to perform them. They
Right.
got input when they were rehearsing them, which is awesome. It shows that MSC is really paying attention to entertainment. They were more musical based.
Right.
They have an LED screen, so there's
Right.
not a lot of set and props, but it was more dance, and the choreography and the dance was just natural.
I'm not going to say choreography because they dance. They dance scenes in, they dance scenes out.
Oh yeah, transitions.
The
were
transitions were
fantastic,
amazing.
Oh, Danny boy.
So very, very pleased with that, and standing ovations and
Yes.
hooting and hollering all 4 shows.
Yes.
People
Were
just blown away.
engaged.
Yeah.
They were. They
Blown away.
loved it.
And and a huge shout out to the lead male vocal,
Mhm.
Scott.
Yes, Scott.
He is, in my 42 cruises, he is one of the best male lead vocals I have ever heard.
I could hear him sing forever.
Yeah.
He was great.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. Now, not just that, there was the carousel.
Yes, which was also excellent. They played 2 shows there,
Mm-hmm.
Houdini and Rock Circus. Not into the magic, not that it's a magic show.
Right.
But Rock Circus, we thought, ooh, yeah, we like rock, we like
circus.
circus. Circus, we like.
Okay, let's just be honest. We were there for the eye candy. Okay.
And we got there early enough to make sure we were front row, dead center stage.
Oh, and we were enjoying the show. Yes.
They give you a drink. We paid $12 in advance. Then you reserve your daytime when you get on the ship.
Mhm.
And that was, again, 5-star. It was-
5-star.
They were amazing.
Mhm.
Great acrobatics and strength. Just absolutely amazing. If we were rating entertainment just on those, it would be 5 stars.
There's no question.
Hands down.
Yes.
But because we have to consider the other thing and
Mhm.
the iffy musical acts,
Mhm.
and they did hit pop-up shows, which I enjoyed in the mall.
Yeah. I thought they were okay.
And they had the dome show, so a
Right.
lot of different things.
Right.
But we're
Uh,
going to give this
4
4 stars. We
Mhm.
really want to give you 5, but you need to improve those musical acts.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
And the lounges.
Yes, the last set is service and staff. How do we divide this?
Right. So we talk about crew and staff/officers. I will just
Mm-hmm.
say, I wasn't sure what to think, but the crew was just friendly and amazing.
Yes.
I will say they did fall off towards the end.
Mhm.
Our server didn't. Our server was in the dining room was amazing from
Yes.
the beginning to the
Mhm.
end. And we
Yes.
did relocate. And so we had to talk to the dining room manager the first day when he was trying to get off to his safety drill thing.
We'll talk about that later.
You do want to stay tuned for that.
Mhm.
And he gave us a great table in the
Mhm.
panorama by the
Nice.
window we moved. And yeah, it was fabulous.
Yes.
It was fabulous. Our stateroom attendant was
Mhm.
excellent
Mm-hmm.
up until the last few days. He
Yeah.
kind of disappeared. He was
Mhm.
supposed to get something for us. He didn't.
Right.
And so I'm not sure what was going on.
Right.
Nobody talked to us.
Right.
And we had a couple of other experiences with yacht club staff who weren't in yacht club. But we were trying to engage and talk
Mm-hmm.
about some benefits and, try and take a look, which they did for
Right.
those people who want to see yacht club who aren't in there.
Mhm.
They do usually set aside a time every cruise.
But I loved the
Officers.
officers were amazing.
They
We
were.
engaged with them a lot.
Food and beverage
Mhm.
manager,
Mhm.
even the yacht club manager, who
Right.
again we weren't in there,
No.
and the cruise director, who we ran into several times and had lengthy conversations
He was
with.
fun. He was great.
Gavin, he was
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
A real true what a cruise director should be.
Yes, absolutely.
So rounding all that up,
We're going to
we're
give it
gonna
a
them
4 stars. Absolutely.
Love to give you 5, but a couple of areas you need to
Yeah.
work on.
So out of 25 possible for the Cub score, we're giving them 16.
Which is what our Grandeur cruise got.
Mm-hmm.
And that's an average okay cruise,
Mhm.
good cruise. There were more pluses.
Yes, then minuses, but we need to talk about our caveats.
Yes. So here's what kind of drags it down for us. And
Yes.
I'm going to say, I don't think we would go on this class of ship
Nope.
again,
No.
because, if you're only going to be at half capacity
Mm-hmm.
and have 2,300 people,
Mhm.
great.
Right.
But you never know.
You never know.
And
No.
if you were to end up with 6,000 people and 1,000 kids on that ship,
You would go cray.
get me off.
Yes. Put me in a lifeboat because I just want to float back.
So the ship is a problem, and that's something you can't change, no
No.
matter what. You can't add more space to the ship. You
No.
can't make people get off the ship in the middle of the ocean.
Yes.
So it's not something you can fix. So it would be a deal breaker for us. The ports were lackluster, so
Mhm.
they didn't really have an impact here.
We departed.
Yeah, here's
Out.
the big
uh,
coffin nail. Bang, bang, bang.
We departed out in New York,
Yeah, Brooklyn.
specifically Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Okay. I told you emphasize lines. There's lines. I'm not sure if I said that, but there's lines. Okay. We got there and got into a line to embark.
Right. We got there about our time. We did not check our luggage with the porters. We carried it on. We only
Yes.
had 2 bags of rolling bag.
Mhm.
Easy peasy.
Mm-hmm. And what year is this? Because it feels like, I don't know.
I haven't seen this kind of disorganization in boarding process in probably a decade. Other cruise lines now, I mean, our last cruise, it was like 15 minutes. The one before that, 12 minutes.
You go into the terminal for them and you were on the ship in 15 minutes.
Most everything's on the app. MSC has an app, but they don't use it for boarding.
I'm not sure what they use
It's
it for.
paper. You have to have your paper, and if you don't have their paper, they've got to print it out, and you're going to an agent at a desk, and
And then they shift
and they don't
you,
even give you your keys there. They have and you have that in the boat,
and then they shift you to another room where you have to set to actually get on
sit
board.
and wait.
How long did it take us?
It took nearly 2 hours from walking in the terminal door to getting on the ship.
Now, here's the good thing. We got on the ship.
Yes, and we had to change our dining, and we
Mhm.
thought we were going to be able to squeeze in a little bit of food before the drill.
Uh-huh.
Now it's a fixed drill. Nothing on the app. You have to go into your cabin, watch the video,
Mhm.
make a phone
Phone call from your room.
during the allotted time
Yes.
when they say.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Now, everything shuts down while this drill is going on. Elevators, food. They pulled food from the buffet.
From people near riot.
Near right. People were just, there. It was cray, is what it was.
Yeah, very poor process, very poor planning.
Mm-hmm.
And they were running behind it. We ended up departing late, so
Mhm.
they could have pushed it,
Mhm.
which is what they should have done.
Oh,
'cause
but
they were
wait,
behind.
there's more. We get to the end of the cruise. Now, you would think getting off a ship is easy. Wouldn't you think that all you have to do is get off? Just go. There you go. Bye-bye. No. How long did it take us to get off the
It
ship?
took us 30 minutes, and we didn't have to clear customs, so there
No.
was no backup. And we had our luggage.
Mhm.
It was just, their processes just aren't good. I
No.
don't know if this is everywhere with MSC, because we've now only cruised with them out of Brooklyn.
Mhm.
And I know New York can be a little bit
Mhm.
more challenging,
Right.
boarding and disembarkation.
Mhm.
But again, we didn't have to clear customs.
Right.
So that really was a sticking point for us. And we were like, I don't know if we're going to go on MSC again.
No.
Just because of that. So that took our experience. That kind of like just killed that first day.
Yes, it did.
And we're not, we're going on a cruise. We paid for it. We're going to enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't until that evening when we were able to get through all this and we departed and we relaxed and got to dinner
Mm-hmm.
and we're blown away by that first night's entertainment that
Right.
we really started to be like, okay,
Oh, we're finally on a cruise. We can relax a little bit.
but really that first day that sets the tone.
Mm-hmm.
And really they get like an F on that.
Yes.
It doesn't fall in our rating, so
Nope.
it's not considered.
Nope.
But it is an additional consideration.
That's a caveat. Oh.
All right. So if you're enjoying our reviews
Yes,
and
you
our
are.
deck by deck,
And our honest, yes, reviews.
we are not travel agents. We
Nope.
don't want to sell you travel.
Nope.
Like other people do.
Nope.
So we have no skin in this game.
Nope.
We're just giving you our honest opinion
Yes.
based on my 42 cruises
Mm-hmm.
and your few.
My few cruises. Yes.
We did get a couple of free bottles of champagne and
Mhm.
some goodies.
Mm-hmm.
That does not impact our review in any way.
Nope.
As you can see.
As you can tell. So,
All right, make sure you like, share, subscribe. And as always,
keep on trekking.